Hi y'all. Today we're going to be talking about weeding because I've had a lot of you ask me, why don't you have any weeds in your garden? Well, I do have weeds. Everybody's going to have weeds. It's unavoidable. But we can mitigate most of the weeds with a few simple techniques. One of them is using a wire weeder, and they have different heads for different size rows so that you can go up and down the rows really easily. Another way is occultation, and we'll talk a little bit about that as well. And then another one of them is flame weeding, which I currently don't do, but I probably will in the near future. So first of all, let's talk about bed width. All of our beds are 30 inches wide, and we have 18-inch pathways. We usually have one row, single row down the bed, or we have a row of 3, a row of 2, a row of 4, or a row of 6. I don't have any rows of 6 right now growing, but we can show you some of the other ones. And we have different size heads for those, and they just come off like that. It's just a quick release, and then I keep them all here so that wherever I go in the field, they're with me, and it's like having a multi-tool with you all the time. This actually comes from Never Sink Farms. Never Sink Farms is in New York, Connor Crickmore, and he's done a lot of work on weeding systems, and so that's whose system I use, one of his tools at least. So you would just snap that into place, just like that, and then you can do a different size row. So the first row that I will show you is going to be one of our wider rows where we only plant one. The things that we plant one on are larger things like tomatoes or peppers or eggplants. That way it gives their root systems plenty of space to grow. When you're weeding down a single row, depends on if you have drip tape or overhead, but as you can see right here, I'm going down the row and I'm not cutting the drip tape or harming the drip tape at all. I can just go right past it, disturbing the top part of the soil, which is where all the fine thread weeds are going to be. Even though you can't see weeds, they're always in the ground and they're always starting. If you can keep on top of it and do this about once a week, you're not going to have as much hand picking, because hand picking is what we want to avoid. I don't know about y'all, but I hate weeding, and this is a much more precise and a much more efficient way of doing it. As you can see, I can go up and down the rows fairly quickly. And now we're going to show you what it looks like on a row of 3. And as you can see here, I'm getting right between the plants and I'm not harming anything, and I'm still getting all the weeds up. All right, as you can see, I just went through a row, and this is all the weeds in the thread stage that you can see here. So that's everything that I would have had to weed later on by hand. All right, as you can see in this row, I only have one row of eggplants, and they're getting bigger, and so what they're doing is their canopy is shading out all the weeds. So I don't have to weed here as often, but as you can see, there are some weeds that come up that you miss. You do have to hand pull. You just want to make sure that you get the root with it. If you can see the row next to me, the okra has completely grown up. I don't have to worry about weeding that row at all anymore. There's so much shade on the ground below it that nothing's going to grow under there. Nothing's going to get enough light to get a hold or get strong. Like I said, we're going to talk about occultation as well, because that's a major part of the management of weeds. Before we started this plot, we put down this silage tarp. It's black on one side and white on the other, depends on what season you're using it in or what context you're using it for. We had the black side up because we wanted heat. We watered this whole plot really good, and then we put the silage tarp down on it for, I think it was 2 months. That basically germinated some of the weed seed, and then it killed anything that would come up. So when we pulled this back after the 2 months, there was some dead plant matter on top of the soil, but that's about it. And then the next thing we did was we put down a layer of clean cardboard, no staples, no tape, no ink, and we covered the whole plot in cardboard. And then we got in 40 yards of compost, and then we made our rows, which are 30-inch rows and 18-inch walkways. We made our rows with the compost, and we brought, I think it was 7 wheelbarrows per row, and then it was about a 3 to 4 inch layer of compost on every row. And there was still a couple areas where we had some weed issues, mainly crabgrass or Bermuda grass, whatever you want to call it. It's the rhizomatous grass that just keeps creeping. As you can see here, I have 2 rows. This one is non-occulted and this one is occulted. So like I was saying, we had some issues with the crabgrass, and so these 2 rows here we decided to put down the weed mat or weed blocker, whatever you want to call it, because we didn't want to fight that all season long. The rest of the rows didn't seem to have any of the problem when we lifted off the silage tarp. They seemed to be fine, and so we didn't choose to continue to occult them. We're just going with once a week or twice a week, depending on how the beds look, of the wire weeder going through them. All right, y'all, I hope I answered most of your questions. If you have any other questions, please leave them in the comments below. If you like this video, like this video. If you want to subscribe, subscribe. If you already subscribed, thank you so much. I appreciate it.